spreading awareness about SAW around UC to do every other week, and it encourages discussion here at UC and inside of our chapter because we talk about different parts of our partnership every other week, and we have things such as breakout rooms to get everyone's opinions and discuss. And then Simia already briefly mentioned this, but Benefit Dinner is coming up on March 26th, and it's typically an in-person event where everyone eats dinner together, and there's like a few speakers and speeches. This time it's still going to be virtual, but it'll still be equally as fun and equally as impactful. So we hope to see all of you there, and it's a great way that we can get them informed about SAW. An external event that's coming up is related to SAW because it basically has somewhat of the same purpose. Because the reproductive health campaign is essentially also to inform others about reproductive health, which is so incredibly important. And as we know, those that SAW, they prioritize health education so much. And lastly, as you can see in the boomerang in the top right, we sell income generation items at UC to those inside and outside of GlobeMed. It helps spread their culture, inform others at UC on SAW, and create connections. And not to mention, everyone gets amazing SAW swag. Tabling also occurs like in the bottom pictures, and it's a very effective way that we inform campus about GlobeMed and our mission. Awareness is just so important because it spreads our knowledge on global health, and it also helps those at SAW. And being informed is so important in global health.
Okay, so our partnership is obviously ever growing. To summarize a lot of what has already been said and give you a little bit of a glance into the future, I'll talk to you about these 3 different areas. So with Chapter, despite the challenges that we've faced as we've transitioned to a virtual format, we've actually been able to increase our virtual interactions with SAW and the students at SAW. We've also been recording all of these interactions on our YouTube, and our meetings with ATL have been recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. And that's something that we're able to just continue to build upon. And I'm excited to see that moving forward because you're able to access it whenever, and there's no time constraints with that. And then additionally, obviously, if you guys are following our Instagram, Partnerships and Communications have been collaborating on posting SAW Saturday posts to describe a little bit about the history of the MESOT region, or just some fun little facts about what the GROW interns have experienced. So it's really cool, and it's another way for us to build connections even though we're not in person. And then, of course, ATL has been our lifeline since 2010, but we're not certain that we're going to have them around forever, unfortunately. And in some of the recent calls with ATL, we have been getting to know some other SAW students that he's been mentoring, and eventually one day I foresee us having more than one main contact or different contacts that we'll be building relationships with at SAW. And then, of course, because we've been doing virtual events, we have that game night partnership already a few times, but it's just another way that we'll get to know ATL a little bit more, and some of to travel again, we are going to return to our on-site format for the internship, but in the meantime, of course, we're seeing possibility in what we can do to strengthen our relationship with SAW. At the end of the day, a successful GROW internship is one where we can strengthen that relationship. It's not about a trip or, of course, we'd love to be in person. That's like the best way to build a relationship, but we are seeing possibility, and we are going to give you a little sneak peek as to some of the projects that the GROW team has been thinking and talking about, include building and creating a basis for the income generation items to be sold on a website. So instead of interns having to go and purchase the items in person and then reselling these items, right, income generation, to give the women who are hand making these items like double the impact, they'll have something that's a little bit more permanent and sustainable that they can eventually manage, or something that we can continue to manage. And you have a lot more projects to look forward to. In a few weeks, our Grow team is going to kind of give a little presentation as to the more like solidified projects, but that's just a little sneak peek. So I guess we can move forward to our next activity.
All right, thanks, Maria. That was a lot to think about, a lot to ponder on. There's a lot going forward. So what we can do today is this activity that we've thought of, which is writing Valentines to SAW. In breakout rooms, we'll send you out to work together to write a message to a person, whether that's a student at SAW, a teacher, a staff member, somebody that you're already familiar with. You would next use the Google form that we're going to link in that instructions document, and you'll paste your message there. You'll select a template that you would want your message to be on, and you can submit as many of these as you'd like. Again, this is a Valentine's, maybe just to introduce yourself, to show some appreciation for the staff at SAW, or to expand on a relationship that you already have. Feel free to discuss this among your groups, like what messages you want to link sent out to you all. So here is a link to the instructions that you'll use to write your Valentines, and they also have the templates in them as well, so you can choose one of the 4. And then here's a link to the Google form that you'll use to submit your Valentine, including the message and the template that you chose. Before we head out into breakout rooms, does anybody have any questions?